the director's cut of sound. Why we used the particular sounds we did, why the particular music, why do we choose to do the sound we did. That's what I'll be going over as I watch through my film. So. We've decided to begin with just the voiceover. There's no background sound. It just kind of gratifies the audience. They hear a voice straight away. That's what we decided to do. And then as the next shot comes on, the piano starts to play. And it's kind of like, the piano is quite an eerie instrument. They'll hear the piano and think, something's a bit uneven here. The piano has that kind of effect. And then it continues on, and the voiceover continues, but you can also hear the piano go. We only have the voiceover on the scenes in the Red Room. We only had about a 1-minute script that we wanted to do, and we wanted to put it on selective scenes to grab the attention of the viewer to listen in on those scenes. And then in the chase scene, we have sort of higher pitched, almost like screeching but not quite, sort of sounds, just so it's like, oh, this is not good, she's being chased by something, surely, she's afraid. And then during the scenes of her being a child, she has piano sounds. Yeah. As the scene goes on, the piano gets louder. There's more sounds coming into it. So all the sounds in our film are non-diegetic, which basically means that if you were in the film, you wouldn't hear them. But because you're not in the film, you're watching the film, you can hear them. So we wanted to do non-diegetic sounds just because we felt like it would gratify the audience more. It would kind of give them a perspective from outside the film to connect with the voices and the sounds from outside the film. We have no dialogue, no sound from the original footage we filmed. We have no dialogue within the film in our opening scene. We simply just have the voiceover. We felt like having the voiceover was just an easy way for us to sort of explain but also confuse at the same time the audience. We wanted to sort of give a bit of a backstory to the character, as with no voiceover, it would just be these images showing up with a bit of creepy music on the end. People will think it's a horror movie, something's going to jump out. No, we wanted to create more of a story by using our voiceover. So we kind of explain that there is this young girl who's 17, which we say in the voiceover, who is being chased by something. She doesn't explicitly say what it is, she doesn't say what she's done. She just says she needs to get her innocence back. She doesn't explicitly say what's going to happen, so she doesn't give away any of the film. But at the same time, it's giving the audience enough information and enough mystery so they want to continue to watch. We haven't given away a huge amount, we've given away a little bit about the protagonist so they can connect with the protagonist from the information we've given them. We wanted to make the voiceover a little bit muffling, just so it kind of sounds a little bit like she's in a rush, something's happened. So it's as if the character from the film had done the voiceover herself for the film. So it's kind of lots of different things mixed together in the film. It's as if she was talking to someone, or had written a letter to herself, sort of thing, and she was reading it. and she was just trying to explain her situation. So, but she's also reading at the same time, if that makes any sense. As the scenes go on, the piano starts to get louder and more harsh, and there's also some like helicopter like sort of sounds, and it sounds as if something's creeping up on her, coming closer and closer. The scenes become more intense and more intense and more intense as it goes on. But the voiceover stays consistent. The voiceover doesn't change. She doesn't get louder. She doesn't get more anxious. She keeps the same pace of the voiceover. She keeps the same volume of the voiceover. We've done this to show consistency throughout. We just have something that's constant, something that will continue throughout the film, is her explanation. But everything else, there's 3 different stories happening. There's the sounds, there's the voiceover, there's 5 things happening. There's 2 different kinds of sounds happening in one. But the protagonist doesn't hear this. This is all just for the audience, to try and confuse them and trick them into thinking something different than it might actually be. So in our thing, as the final scene cuts out and it goes to the title, the sound gets quieter. It goes back to the way it was at the beginning, and then it fades away. We've done that just like the opening scene is over. That's the creepy part done. Now it's going to fade into the actual film, so it goes down and up into the actual film.
I'll never forget you. You will always be by my side from the day that I met you.
For us, sound has been a big thing. In our initial film, our first draft of the film, we didn't have sound. We hadn't thought of sound really. We hadn't done much research into sound. Then we did research into types of sounds, such as voiceovers and music and stuff like that. After we'd done research into that, we figured those 2 options were the best for us. Voiceover would explain to the audience what's going on, and the music would just create the mood of the film. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to create the mood, the eerie mood, the mysterious mood, whilst also explaining, briefly, but explaining what's going on. In our first draft, it was completely silent. We didn't have any sound. There was no mood to our film. It was just moving images. So I think that like sound really, really helped us create our film, because it helped us give the mood, related a message on the film, and I felt like that really, really helped us. So for us, sound was a huge, huge deal. Right, set, level.